Everyone knows about Space Harrier, right? You know, shooting one-eyed mammoths and all that jazz. That in itself is obviously insane, but you know there's also a sequel as well, full of even more insane shit? This was actually released as a launch title for the Mega Drive or Genesis in 1998 as well, and I'd never personally heard of it myself until I found it in a shop. I guess the first question would be if it stacks up to the original or not, but to be honest, I have no idea. Literally the only time I played the original was in Shenmue. I know that's a bit sad if I'm supposed to be some top shit retro gamer or something, but you know, I'm not going to defend myself. So with that in mind, let's delve right in.
Space Harrier 2 is set in the year you've all been waiting for, 6236. Yeah, that year. Harrier, the fan of red jumpsuits he is, heads off back to Fantasyland as hostile forces are once again causing grief there. Harrier, being the top bloke he is, takes it upon himself to destroy everything he comes across all on his lonesome. This is an arcade shooter if we're looking at it simply, but it takes place in a third-person view, which made the series quite different from anything else at the time. Harrier can run along the ground, which helps depending on where the enemies are, but you'll spend the majority of this game flying around just like your foes. Harrier only has one weapon, and this shoots blue donut things that get the job done. Although honestly, I would have liked there been additional weapon pickups to introduce something new to the series, but you can turn on rapid fire from the options menu to spice things up a bit if you so desire. You fly through these levels avoiding obstacles, usually pylon-like structures, while also shooting and avoiding the projectiles of the enemies. It's at this point, like myself, you may realise you suck terribly at this game. It's so easy to die, and it can feel quite unforgiving at times. The problem is that it's weird aiming without a reticle, no doubt even more so when the gamer's view is from behind the character. Sometimes it's just too hard to see projectiles coming at you when the character himself is in the way, and shooting from that position takes quite a bit of getting used to. I felt a little bit better about myself when I looked up other reviews though. Everyone else seems to suck at this game too. No doubt there are plenty of people who can play this in their sleep though, and don't need to gain personal satisfaction by uploading videos of retro games to YouTube. I do want to clarify that this is a fun game though, but be warned that it's not like anything else out there gameplay wise, well, not that I've humbly played anyway. Be prepared for a different challenge. This game isn't complicated or anything, so the only thing you have to worry about besides from shooting and dodging is a boss fight every now and again. These are reasonably easy though, they don't require much problem solving, but instead more dodging and shooting, which no doubt you would have gotten down pat by now. All bosses are incredible feats of character design in my books though, much like the rest of the enemies. It's because of this, the simplistic nature of the gameplay may not end up bothering you that much, because they just look so cool.
Get ready.
One thing to be noted is that all levels can be accessed from the get-go, except for a final level that can only be unlocked by winning everything else. For the most part, this makes this game quite accessible, as you can just pick it up and play, with plenty of choice every time. This is a winning attribute for it to have, since it's so damn hard to play in the first place. It's nice just to be able to jump to whatever level you want, and hone out your high score there. The graphics are without a doubt one of the best things about this game. Since it was a launch title, obviously a lot went into making it look fantastic, so it represented the system well at a time when Sega were trying to convince the public that it was a good purchase. It had some mad parallax scrolling, it looks especially badass when the sky simulates the ground, making for an awesome experience. While the enemies aren't that animated, they are incredibly detailed and original. I suspect the reason they're not animated that much is so the game can run at the pace it does. This is a quick game, and I bet at the time it was awesome to see such a good looking title running as quickly as it does. Too bad about the sound however, as a lot of the music left me unimpressed. While it didn't totally deafen me, it just felt like that it was out of tune sometimes. That's this weary quality about it, it made me feel all sorts of uneasy. That's just my opinion though, music is quite a subjective thing. The non-music related audio wasn't bad however, except for the deaf sound. What can I say, that's a really annoying sound effect. The other bit of audio though, where it talks about getting ready, is quite clear and concise. It surprised me how clear it was actually, but since that's all there is, then I guess 100% was put into it.
While this game is ball-bustingly hard, I do have a lot of respect for it. It was a great idea at the time to release it as a launch title for a new system, because at that point the original would have already had a fan base. While it's not perfect by any means, if you do come across it for a good price, then I highly recommend it. It is a lot of fun, and hitting that retry button is always addictive.
Hello there retro gamers, and like always, thanks for watching. If you're new here but liked what you just saw, then firstly, welcome. But secondly, please hit that subscribe button. I release a new video every week and strive to make them as watchable as possible. If you're into social networking, I also run pages on both Facebook and Twitter, so pick your poison, as well as a blog that's been running for quite a while now regarding this hobby. Recently I wrote about ET and Content ID in separate posts I should probably add, so give those a read if you want to. Lastly, there are some links to my 2 previous videos. That's all for this week. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you next time.